on the BBC World Service with Bola and James. We are going to turn our attention to the Gambia right now. Companies that market oil there have said they'll have to cease operations from next Monday unless the government provides help for the sector. They say official prices controlled by the authorities aren't keeping up with the rising costs of importing fuel to the country. And a shortage of dollars in the Gambian economy means their debts are growing because they can't pay them on time. We can speak now to economist Mamadou Sabally, joining us from the capital, Banjul. Good morning to you, Mamadou. So what's these companies' argument then?
Well, the argument is basically that the pricing structure of petroleum products, which is controlled by government, is pushing them into bankruptcy because they can't find sufficient supply of dollars to make their orders. Banks are not issuing letters of credit because banks don't have dollars also. But more importantly for them, the government is using an exchange rate in the price structure valued at about $56 to the dollar. But the real price of getting the dollar in the market is about $62. So they're making exchange rate losses of $6 per dollar. Add that to the lack of availability of dollars, that is really ruining their business, according to the oil marketing companies. And also that government is collecting taxes on average of about $18 per liter, whilst they are making less than $8 as a margin on selling fuel. So these are their main complaints. But I think the whole thing is triggered by the dollar issue.
Yeah, and presumably this is something that the government has to be pretty sensitive to.
Well, yes, but sometimes when it comes to these fuel issues, you could see that both the oil marketing companies and government now are trying to pander to the consumers. Instead of dealing with the dollar issue, which is the key issue, the government is trying to trade the narrative that they are putting a subsidy on fuel, which is not actually the reality if you look at the numbers. So government is being emotional about this, and they're trying to assure people that there will be enough availability of fuel, which is neither reasonable nor sustainable. The government response is not sensitive to the realities.
And people presumably want their fuel prices lowered. Lots of people around the country struggling as it is. That's not going to happen, is it?
Well, the reality is fuel prices are going to be higher. I know government is trying to maintain the prices as they are, but with the oil marketing companies threatening to shut down their pumps, the only realistic way out is to allow at least some of the costs to be pushed onto the consumers. And in my opinion, government should take some loss by cutting down the amount of duty and tax they are levying on the pump price.
Yeah, so presumably those sorts of calculations are going on right now. Who loses? How does it work? As one might imagine. What's your best guess? I mean, do you think these companies are going to be forced to cease operations on Monday, or do you think we'll have some sort of solution before then?
Well, I understand there has been a meeting today between the regulatory authority and the oil marketing companies. I believe there is going to be some form of a compromise, because otherwise the whole economy will be crippled, and the social implications of that, I don't think the government is ready to stomach that.
Give us a sense of what life is like for ordinary people in the Gambia, both because of this fuel issue and just more generally. How are people doing economically?
People are not doing well because, as you know, food prices are already up. And when fuel prices go up, it all feeds into that. So you have an inflationary spiral going on, and government recently increased public servant salaries by 30%. You have that wage price spiral going into the fuel spiral right now. Just about a week or two back, the transport union went on a strike because they felt fuel cost is too high and they are not able to raise their fares. So these are all issues going on now since the oil marketing companies announced this impending strike. There is already some sign of panic buying. People are buying fuel and keeping it in their houses, which is actually not safe. So the population is gradually being on the edge because fuel scarcity affects every sector of the economy.
Quite a serious picture you're painting there. Mamadou Sabally, thank you very much indeed. Economist, as you guessed, from his very detailed yet comprehensive explanations of what's going on. He was speaking to us live from the Gambian capital, Banjul.